Welcome back to Teslamonial. We're here with Trisha, and we are going to have our very first Teslamonial, which will be a Tesla testimony. So, Trisha, tell me, how many Teslas do you have?
Two.
You have 2 Teslas. It's one more than I think most people have, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
What year and make model are they?
I have a 2021 Model Y, and then I also have an M3, so Model 3. That one is a 2018.
Fantastic. How long have you owned each one?
I've owned this one for 4 and the other one for 3. So the M3 for 3 years.
Perfect. What was the buying process like for each one of them? Did you get them new? Did you get them used? Did you buy them on your phone?
Yeah, I got one new and one used. So the M3 I got used. It was actually from a friend. That one, the buying process was pretty straightforward. We just had our own agreement, normal setting off the title, but that one had autopilot features and stuff like that. So we had to do like a unique kind of like transfer process. I'm not as tech savvy, so you can't ask me about that one. But basically, I got to have all of his features without having to lose any of them as well too.
To get that transfer, did you have to contact Tesla to help them with that?
We just basically I added the car to my app, and then he removed himself. We kind of did a little bit more manual. I don't remember all the details, but it was not through Tesla. It was not through Tesla. And then the new buying process, I bought online. It was actually at the time where used car prices were pretty high. So I had a lease that was expiring, and it was like now or never if I'm going to get a Tesla kind of a thing. And I took full advantage of that. And at the time, my lease had expired, and I did like a 1 month extension. And then I realized that at that time they were so popular that they were going off the lot immediately.
I remember the chip shortage.
So it was just right around the chip shortage time. So when I got mine, it was a little bit delayed. So I just asked my dad if I could use one of his cars. So if in between. But that was like a really small car. So I went from a manual transmission car to a teeny tiny car to a bigger car in less than 3 or 4 months time span. So it was very unique. And in the small car had less features and stuff. So once I got to that, I was like, this is a spaceship. It's unique.
The future is now.
So it was really unique to go from very different vehicles in a very short time as well to use. So
all right, very nice. For the new car that you purchased, since we live in Wisconsin, you had to leave the state. So where did you go to pick it up?
I went to Chicago. The closer one. I can't remember which one was the closer one, but
There's 3 and then
and it was the one right across the border pretty much. And I really liked the experience. At that time, like I said, things were rolling so fast. At that time, my nerd in me, when I was doing all my research, was saying oh, they might help you walk around the vehicle, show you what's up, No, they were just whatever. A new, kind of slightly unique thing that I ended up talking to my rep about was that I was like, hey, I'm in Wisconsin. I have a long drive. Can you fully charge it for me?
Nice.
They didn't.
Oh.
It wasn't bad. It takes half an hour to charge or something like that. But they were like, for your inconvenience, let me give you 2,000 supercharging miles. And then at that time, someone referred to me, so I had 4,000 supercharging miles to use in 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow, that dates me a little. I don't know if they do that anymore or anything like that.
They do a bunch of stuff. They still do. But especially referral deals, they change constantly.
Oh, yeah.
So I know when we got ours, we did a referral deal, but they really did. 1 month free of 1 month free of FSD, and it was the only thing that you got. I was like, okay. But it did give $200 in Tesla money or whatever that to the person that referred. So it's
something. You get accessories and stuff for your car.
100%.
Did you guys get your charger from did it come with the charger with your purchase? Or did you have to purchase it separately?
The mobile
charger.
I'm
asking.
No, ask away. It's good. It's curious. The mobile charger came with our Tesla.
Oh, okay.
And it came with the 2 connections. So we had both the normal 110 amp outlet and the 220 amp outlet, or the volts. Yeah. 110 volt versus 220 volt. So we have both of those connectors, and it came with a converter if we want to charge at a non-Tesla charger. So all of that came with our car for no extra cost.
Sweet.
We did also buy the wall charger, which I paid extra for, so that way we had that installed.
I do remember for a while they cut that off for a minute, and then they must have brought it back.
It comes and goes, and also it changes by model. So sometimes the 3 will have it, but the S won't.
Oh. Wild.
So
you got to time it right?
You do. You definitely do. Over the duration of your ownership for both of your cars, how has the reliability been? Have you had a lot of service appointments? Has it ever left you stranded anywhere?
Twofold. Since I have two cars, they're a little bit different. I have never been stranded. I have had a service appointment on the MY, two of them. One of them was early on. I had panel gap issues, which is a nitpicky thing. It's not necessarily something that had to be done, but over the course, and over the course of time, especially with my experience with a few other individuals who have them as well too, is that those panel gaps can kind of get more annoying with time. That like your trunk will close a little bit differently and stuff like that. So it was actually kind of important to get those done. And then I had a passenger trim, like around where the seat and the trim connect. It started to like wiggle loose, and they said that was a somewhat common in my specific like VIN section or something like that. So they just came out and did that. I did both of those before warranty, so those were no charge.
How about the Model 3? How has that treated you?
So that one I got used. When I first got it, my screen kept turning on and off during drive.
Oh, wow.
And so I had a car for almost a year before I got the second one. So like I was familiar with like how to use a car and stuff like that. So thankfully I knew that, but it was really hard to not like know how fast you're going. You know, some of the really neat features you need to see with that. So the workaround was to do the hard reset, which on both of mine were like
same thing on ours. Hit both all wheels and steering wheel.
Yeah, and so that one kind of cleared itself up. It must have been just kind of like a fluke.
So you didn't need a service appointment. It just
no, I didn't even know how to describe the issue either. You know, like hey, it just randomly goes like blank.
It's blinking at me.
Yeah, and then just some normal wear and tear. I would call like I got new tires on the car, which they were very bald when I first got them, and I actually got stuck in the snow a few times. So I was like, I'm not going through another winter without new tires. So tires are very, very important in our winter weather as well too. Then I had a 12-volt battery change, which wasn't a big deal. Besides the fact that it gets you a little nervous. So since I had two,
I know what you're talking
I tended to use my other car a little bit more often during my, like, I kind of charge, I alternate my chargings. Like, that's how I kind of, so I did have a 12 battery change. It was a little nerve-wracking in the sense that, like, it can reduce your features and then it can just stop working, but since I had two vehicles, I just used the other one more. The process wasn't too terrible. I just set a service appointment in my app, went down on a day that was convenient for me, and they had an opening, and then I actually test drove the Cybertruck and the Juniper while I was waiting, and it was a lot of fun. Like, so if you have a service appointment, I definitely recommend, you know, exploring other options. There's like Model S's on the lot and stuff like that as well too.
I did the same exact thing because like a month or two into ownership of ours, our seatbelt sensor went out. Not a big deal, but I wanted to get it fixed. So I said it, and I asked them, like on the app, I'm like, hey, are we going to have like a loaner car? I got two kids. I don't want to be sitting in there. And they go, no, you won't. So at the same time, I just went on and booked a Cybertruck rental because I'd driven all the other ones. I'm like, let's just test drive test drive. So that way we're not sitting there. So we dropped off our Y. We all jumped inside the Cybertruck and just went for a cruise to see what it's like.
It was interesting. I liked that process. The Tesla service appointments are pretty much a breeze. I've even had mobile service as well too, where they come out to your car.
Wow. Which one was that for?
The Y for the two service appointments with the like panel gap and the trim issue. And then my Model 3, I actually had it, them come to my house as well too, because I also, this is a freak thing, I don't know how often this really happens, but my charge port cover blew off on the interstate when I was next to a semi, I think the downforce or something like that, and it must have had like hairline fracture cuts or something, because like snow hit it and things like, and I didn't own the car, so I don't know how they, you know,
it was weakened and air turbulence between you and the semi.
It was just like a freak thing. Like when it happened, I was like, I just heard something happen, and then I didn't really know until I got home. And then I kind of was in not quite panic mode, but you know, a little bit like, should I be outside in the rain with this or not? You know, big concern. I mean, those are just silly things you don't think about until it happens to you. But it was fine. I brought it down to the service appointment. Oh no, actually, they came to my house, and it was like under $200, which I didn't think was terrible. It's not something I would have felt comfortable doing because I did watch them, and they had to like deconstruct a lot of things, take out my like blinker or my brake lights and stuff like that. So it was a little bit more intense, but they did it on the road too, so it wasn't
just two Phillips head screws.
No, it was not. It was more than that. And then one thing that I have currently issue, and I haven't really gone to fix it because I'm just haven't gotten around to it, but I have a rear tail light that in that particular model year, they didn't have proper like venting, so water would condense at the bottom. And so part of my like, it's not even my blinker, like it technically, I still like blinker works, my brakes work. It's just that aesthetic that it's like some of it is out. So that's something that I'm like,
I've had that in other cars
as well too. Yeah. So, but the meantime fixing, we just drilled a small pilot hole and it drained out, and I was hoping it would just kind of clear itself up, but it didn't. But, you know, so and then I think I had one other issue. I think those are the main ones. Yeah.
Perfect.
Nothing overly concerning or
nothing major, little small
and
stuff.
I didn't feel like the prices were over actually. So when I got the battery redone, I totally could have done it myself, but I called around to all the like AutoZones and all that kind of stuff in our area here, and they were a lot more than Tesla to do the work as well too. So I was like, no brainer, go down there when I can and just get it swapped out. And yeah, and I think they like that because then they can do all the codes and all that kind of stuff. So
make sure it's all right. I've looked at doing a few things if I wanted to for our car, but like a lot of if they have to go on the computer and set or reset things and stuff, I don't know anything about. So
yeah, so even though it sounds like I had a lot going on, they were like one-offs and random, and they weren't I didn't feel overly expensive. And like we did save money going to Tesla to do the battery in our area. That's not probably all around the United States or anything like that. Just, do your research.
Do your research.
Yeah.
Before owning it and since you've owned it, how has your range anxiety been? Do you use your Teslas or either your Teslas for road trips for going far distances?
So I think there's two questions. I'll start with range anxiety. Range anxiety for me only occurred in like the first month of ownership. I thought it was going to be a little longer, but when I first got my Y, I actually have the tow package, and I went on a ATV trip. And so I was towing that, and where I was going in the middle of Wisconsin, there was no Tesla superchargers or any other really good charging options available to me at that time. So that one, I was a little bit more concerned, and like I would kind of go down to 55 miles an hour. I was actually on a trip with my family as well too, and they had their truck with their trailer. So I just kind of like did the like downwind kind of like theory, I guess you could call, where you try to save a little range that way. So that one was probably my highest range anxiety I had, but rightfully so, because I'm not a professional tower either. So like that was like a one-off thing. And then, I was very new. It was, within a month of me owning it. So that was like the only time. I have gotten one of my cars down to like 1% to 2%, but like I was going to my house and it wasn't cold, like the weather conditions, like you can plan for some of those things as well too. I was like, I'm gonna make it, it's fine, but like I don't recommend that either. Like it was a one-off, and I was like, it's gonna sit overnight or 2 days and charge back up and stuff like that.
Have you noticed a difference from the beginning of your ownership to now, that were you more nervous, or have you never been nervous about range?
I'm not overly nervous because I do a lot of like the pre-planning, or I trust the car and telling us when you gotta go, even 5 minutes to charge or something like that. It's not a big deal. But I'd say like right now I'm so comfortable. It's like second nature to me. A silly thing that kind of came out of a lot of this, and this might sound a little, I don't know what the word is, but I don't like going to gas stations anymore because they are stinky.
Petrol phobia.
And like, I'm glad I don't have to do it anymore, and to be fair, when I do have a gas vehicle inside, I'm kind of going on a little bit of a tangent, but when I do go and drive a gas vehicle and I do need to go fill it up, I'm like almost forgetting how to do some of the things that I did for like, 20, however long I've been driving, 20 years of my life or something like that. So like, I know it sounds silly, but like these are my primary cars. I don't really drive a lot of other ones. When I get into my friend's cars and like, you want to drive? And I'm like, yeah, but I can't remember. Like, because our joysticks and like, I mean, that's car to car to car. I've owned a lot of cars over my life, and I've had manual, and you have to get used to the car no matter what. So it was very.
We get it. My wife, she only drives the Y, and I jump between the Y, my manual drift car, my pickup truck. And like, if I start my drift car in the garage and she comes out, she goes, "Ugh, I can tell you were in your car."
Yeah, you smell like
the exhaust fumes. Yeah, exactly.
So I know it sounds silly, but it is kind of part of Tesla ownership. Like, I don't like when I'm behind. I love a good muscle car, but when I'm behind them, I'm like, biodefense mode, please. Get the air out of the car. Like, it sounds silly, but like it's just something unique and fun, and you kind of like learn and adapt, and then you start being like, oh, I don't know any other way anymore, too.
It makes sense. I understand.
And then your second question was, we were going on tangents, but your second question was, do I go on vacation or like trips with it?
Yeah,
I have. I went down to Illinois and back. I found out that Illinois supercharging rates are quite a bit higher than ours.
Right. It changes by location.
And so like that was a little bit of a learning curve, nothing like overly, I'm like, I budgeted for it anyways. And then I was going to take it, my boyfriend and I were debating on one of our trips that we were going to an area that's a little more remote. We were debating on which car to take, and we ended up going the gas route just because we weren't really sure where I would charge and how the charging process would work. And we couldn't see any in like, a 30-minute range. So I was like, nah, let's not do that. So
I've told people before, and they've asked me about it, is Tesla the end all be all for everything? And I said, there are circumstances that maybe an EV is not the best choice. It happens. So that's why it is nice to have a gas alternative, or worst case scenario, you could rent a car for like the one trip a year you're taking.
Yeah. And so with the ATV one where I was towing, we actually went to a cabin and we pre-asked them if I could just plug into the outside outlet. What I do love about the versatility is that you can get power almost anywhere, really, if you think about it. But like asking them ahead of time, I just use the normal 110 outlet. I always forget the number sometimes, but just a 110. And then we just didn't drive my car, but we just hopped in the other vehicle. And, so like there's workarounds. It's not the end all be all, like you said, but if you plan for it, you know about it, and you don't, fret too much about it.
Right. The racetrack that I race at, one of the guys that runs the track, not driving, he just manages it. He has a Model 3, and there's no superchargers anywhere around there. So for 10 years or whatever that I've been going up, I mean, I've been up there for 20 years, but for the last 10 years, every time I go to the track, his car's sitting there next to a 110. He drives up Friday, leaves it plugged in all weekend, and then he drives back to Chicago on the weekend.
You just make it work, and it's neat, it's unique, and I don't mind. My personal charging situation, I know that's not really a question that you had, but I only have 110 in my house, and I'm close enough to our supercharger if I ever need that extra oomph. But because I have two, if I'm going to like Milwaukee or something, I just drive that one, and then when I come back, I just drive the other one for the rest of the week or whatever, and then like the charging all just kind of catches up.
Right.
I didn't really need it, but I have priced it out. I have tried, I thought about it, but I'm like, it's working. Why fix something that's broken?
If it works, don't fix it. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
I do want to go off on a quick tangent. I just want to ask real quickly, how did towing with the Y go?
Awesome. It was, I'm not very experienced with towing, so, but I thought it was really unique on the fact that it has like a tow
mode
button or
there's a tow mode,
and so it does give you pointers, tips, tricks, and it does I think with new subsequent updates that it'll get you better with range anxiety and stuff like that as well too. I had just got my car, towing wasn't super like normalized yet too, so like it was kind of like you're on your own. I didn't really do as much research. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do it.
But you had a small trailer with, you said, an ATV or UTV on the back.
So funny thing with that is that like ATV needed gas, so I did have to pull up and go into the gas, and like so there's an electric car with a gas guzzling unit on the back, and then I'm sitting up there, like making sure that the hose got to the right spot and stuff like that. And then the only other thing that I noticed too is that not all superchargers have a pull-through option. So I had to disconnect, and I am not strong. So I was grateful that my family was there, that we all just kind of like put it up, put the wheel down, and then, I backed into the car.
That's one of my concerns with the Cybertruck, because I do tow once in a while, and I've noticed they don't have pass-through. They're almost all back in, and I looked it up, and it's become a thing the last couple of years since the Cybertrucks come out. So they are building many more pull-through superchargers around the country, but there's none in Wisconsin. There's a website you can go to, and I was looking around all the superchargers, not just Tesla, but any type of DC fast charger. And in Wisconsin, there's zero.
I was trying to think, because I've gone to quite a few of them, and I try to notate it. There are some that are more accessible, where they'll change it where you can kind of pull in.
Yeah.
But you could be potentially blocking intersections or other things as well too. But I have noticed that that's a little bit of a unique.
Uncommon. Yeah.
And also, like I said, I have not a lot of great experience with towing, so backing up is not in my forte. I will not do that because I probably jackknife or whatever the terminology is.
It's the correct one. Maybe in the future FSD will
I would need a lot more practice in order to be okay, I could just pull in and then I can back out without making a fuss and embarrassing yourself a little bit or whatever.
Yeah. For either of your Teslas, have you purchased or subscribed to FSD?
I did the trial run. They did one for your birthday, and then they did a random one when they were really trying to get a lot of data. So I have experience with that. The family that I was talking about where we all had it, one of them has it on there, so I was kind of playing with it. It was still... This was versions ago already, so a lot of sunglasses issues. I don't know if that's getting more clarified over time or anything like that.
In the future, I'll get you to drive and go around town.
I'll try it again.
Yeah.
But I have thought about if I did want to do a longer road trip to do the monthly subscribe, because it does. I know it does take a lot of stress and shoulder action and stuff like that.
I get less tired.
Yeah, less tired, less fatigue. Which I know a lot of people are oh, you have to stop a lot. But I do like to stop that often when I am on a road trip. So it's not a problem for me to add an extra hour or so to the drive to just stretch and let your legs move and, get some food and, use restrooms and stuff. So.
I don't know about all of them. For the new one, we did a 9-hour drive into Michigan. We stopped once to charge, and it charged in 12 minutes.
Yeah, it's fast.
It's so fast.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be opposed to it. I just, I might do a monthly subscription every once in a great while if I want to use it and stuff like that.
If you need a subscription, you can turn it on and off when you use it.
At the time, I think actually one of mine, I have to do a $2,000 upgrade in order for me to even have it. So
okay. Well, I think the Model 3 would be older hardware since it's an older version. Your Model Y is probably a hardware 3. So it's newer. So I don't know if you can get version 14, which is the newest FSD, but 13 was pretty dang good. So makes sense.
Yeah, so I have a little experience with it, not a ton. But it was awesome. I loved that it drove you where you wanted to go and you barely had to think about it, Right. And, but yeah.
What has been your favorite, and then what has been your least favorite thing about owning your Teslas?
Well, the Model Y, when I first got it, there was a lot more unique features in the fact that, because I don't know if your guys' has it or not, but there's outside speakers. Mostly because the car's too quiet and it was meant for oh sorry.
We have it.
Oh no, we got this. All right, let me start over.
No
so the unique feature that I really liked was when I first got the Model Y, they had outside speakers, and at the time it was right around Halloween, so I played fart noises outside, and I played the cucaracha and stuff like that outside, and the kids loved it during during their trick-or-treat time. So unfortunately, I think a few Tesla owners kind of took advantage of that, and it was kind of taken away from us a little bit. So I did love that unique feature. It was fun. It was quirky. When people are a little bit more on the Tesla naysayers side, I do love doing the fart feature because it's just kind of a little icebreaker and stuff like that. But I do like a lot of the features. I love my autopilot. It is all I need and more. It's really nice.
So for the older ones, because I actually don't know, because for the one we have, I'm aware that it has traffic aware cruise control, and then it's got a steering assist, which is a beta, and then the full one is FSD. So what does your Y have?
So the Y is a little bit more basic than my 3, believe it or not, because I had that when we did the transfer from them. I got all the extra features that they had at the time. So my autopilot in my Model 3 does lane change, and it does lane change, and I really like that feature. This one doesn't have the lane change, but it does have stop and go light where it notifies you that
Do you have to hold on the wheel the whole time? or can you be hands-free?
Hands-free.
Okay.
It does the nudging.
Okay.
So every once in a while I have to touch it or do the scroll trick and stuff
Right.
too. So.
Okay. What's your least favorite thing about the cars that you've had? About the Tesla?
I have the M3 is a rear-wheel drive, so it's not fun in the winter. I actually just got stuck last night trying to back into my own parking spot because it wasn't getting the wheel to the power of the wheels in the right spot and stuff like that. And like the shoveling was, but like that's probably one of the biggest things. I do love my cars too. So like when people ask, I say the good, the bad, the ugly, but I'd say, it's hard to say because like they're just unique vehicles. And some of the nuances you just get used to them.
There's nothing that really bothers you about it. Moving forward, then in the future, would you see yourself buying more Teslas or more EVs?
More EVs for sure. I might not ever go back to car. Don't quote me on that forever.
ICE combustion.
Combustion.
Yeah.
But I've had my eye on the Lucid for a long time.
They look cool.
But I do know that the Supercharger network is one of my biggest hangups on any other vehicle at this time. And I know they're working on getting like adapters and stuff like that. But even off the Tesla Supercharger network, I have a lot of experience, and a lot of times it doesn't work at all. Like there's cut cables, or I grabbed the wrong charger. I have all the cords, I have all the different, accessories, but like, so one I left behind or whatever, so like, I have not had great experience. There's one time where it was like at an employer place, and you can go in there and like check out all the like different like comments and stuff like that. And one of them was like, yeah, you need a badge to get in here. I'm like, I now need to like recharge, redo my whole plan. So like, Supercharger network makes it like
so much easier.
Easy peasy. Like it'll tell you when to stop and all that stuff. So I don't think that's a feature on a lot of the other newer ones. And then I don't think their range is quite as great. I know some of them are getting there, and I just haven't done a lot of super research since or anything. But
I don't know about other brands, other EVs. Because I know one of the fast-growing EV companies out there is actually Kia. I think Kia is really growing in popularity because of how inexpensive they are.
Yeah, I test drove one of those. It's been a while. But I know it sounds silly, but one of the biggest setbacks was that they didn't have the bucket seats. And when you have instant torque, you're going to I got thrown against there because like this person who was test driving didn't do a lot of like EV experience. So like they're like, oh my gosh, we're going, and like I kind of got not overly hurt or anything like that, but like I was against the side, and I'm used to that in sports cars, but like having that bucket seat really like was kind of a break it for me at that time. But I'm sure over time all of those little nuances like Teslas just start to get better and better with time. So I'll choose.
Every year, every month, they're always making updates. I get it. And
then like some of them had such a low range that I was like, I'd be plugging all the time, like even if I didn't want to.
Some of the ranges are only meant to be in town.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
Trisha, I'd like to thank you for being in here. If you like this kind of comment, please like and subscribe. Leave comments down below. Tell us about your Tesla ownership experience. Thank you.